Hey, how you doing, my favorite YouTubers? Had a little problem today. Local town I live in called Middletown, Connecticut. The problem is, when was it law or legal for the town plowers in official vehicles to actually not stop the sanders, drive along the center of the road, and still sand everybody on the sidewalk? Now, it just wasn't me. Right across the street, right over there, a little girl, blonde, about yay big, with a purple multicolored jacket on. Her and two other people were walking down that side of the sidewalk, went back over to there, and the guy still fucking sanded them too. Now, my other fucking problem with the employees of this town are the cops. Now, I did talk to the sergeant, apparently the only sergeant on duty, the only officer on duty, when I asked for somebody above him or her. And apparently it's actually illegal because it can actually hurt somebody. They can injure somebody. You know, the sand hits them in the face. Does more than just like, does an ouchie to the face. Now, the officer stated that they have no fucking clue on any law, zoning, or any code, which is the same thing as a law. I had to deal with a bunch of fucking town employees before where town ordinances aren't quite laws. Go figure. But anyways, I got pelted with sand, standing on the sidewalk, making sure they didn't push all that shit back onto our property and the sidewalk. Now, the town themselves said to throw it in the center of the street. They'll take care of it, and they'll make sure it doesn't go back on the sidewalk when I first moved in. Now, I've had to deal with a lot of these fucking morons as cops. I mean, all the way down to telling me, because they didn't think I was part of the property and just a renter, that everything I complained about to the officers, basically, I was a renter. So that meant I had no law, there was no law, there was nothing stating in their own town guidelines that, that I was allowed to complain on anything. And I also have video footage and photos of officers who had people parked on the yellow right here, and I couldn't get into the driveway with a wrecker. And that's another thing, we'll get to that later, because town wreckers are fucking horrible people. But beyond that, I mean, had no fucking problem shooting this shit at people. Now, apparently, DOT states that certain things aren't supposed to be done via not just town rules, but state and interstate rules, but that interstate's more highway. And normally, if a landscaper, a standard private landscaper, did that, and it actually shot at a person and they complained, that can cause injury to somebody, and the police have to actually go investigate. But apparently, the town of Middletown, the cops are kind of fucking lazy, and apparently dirty, because let me tell you, people on the yellow, I can't get into my driveway, and the town officers would state that if I actually had a vehicle towed, I would go to jail. And that's a threat by our fucking scumbag piece of shit Middletown Police Department. So anyways, I got that all recorded. We have cameras there. I can't show you the other cameras, but we have more than one camera on property. I had to take a couple of cameras apart so that way they weren't quite noticeable, and I had to take the standard IR off. So that way, you know, they aren't illuminated normally. You have to have a nice, awesome, special lens to see it. So, or them. But, yeah, with that said, I mean, they tell me to throw shit in the street, and it gets thrown back on. Now, I've had more than 2 sets of radio frequency ablations in the lower spine. I've had more cortisone and Synvisc in the knees and the ball and socket to the point where I can't really take it anymore, because I literally get sick from the cortisone, like worse than standard flu symptoms, just for having so much cortisone pumped into my body. And we can't afford to have people do our driveway all the time for us, regardless if it's a $10 bill, a $50 bill, and normally that's not the point. The point is we're told one thing, and all this shit is the exact opposite. It took me 2 years to get the fucking town to stop fucking marring the face of the historical graveyard, which is actually a historical trail for people. Now, my relative right there, where the face of the you can see right behind us, you see all that white on the headstones? That's from the town's snow blowers literally wiping the face off the gravestones. Now, our family's been here probably since the beginning of time, all the way down to the French Canadians coming down to take care of the trapping and all that fun stuff. I mean, we were around before Sacagawea helped map the country from one end to another. And I mean, our families are all over the fucking country when it comes to gravestones. So I'm a fan of keeping the history of it. And I mean, it took fucking 2 years of bitching to the town, and August, who was working on the other side of town, maintaining the other graveyard, and this is the next one on the list. So luckily I have footage, because it's getting fucking ridiculous. But anyways, I gotta get going. I gotta get inside. I gotta do my fucking retarded yoga so my back doesn't fucking spasm, go out, or me be in bed for 3 weeks at a time because of all the procedures done on it. So anyways, have a good day, and you know where to find me.